So both players are ready. Let's go ahead and get them counted down. Here we go. Dan Vinky debuting here on a new team versus Anomalous in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Of course, if Dan is able to win this, then Tetris Time will have to wager up against Rawmations. However, if Anomalous wins this, then it's going to be a winner-takes-all situation for the captain's match. And it's going to be very interesting because Anomalous is definitely a strong player. I mean, we're talking about top 8 in CTWC silver bracket. So having to go up against just a strong player. Dan, strong player in his own right. We're just going to have to see what happens. Right now, both players are pretty close. Anomalous is a player that tends to push down more often than not. And Anomalous is going to have a small advantage over Dan. And ooh, Anomalous starting to get up a little bit high. And so is Dan. However, Anomalous is in dangerous territory. Needs to get a... Ooh, goes for that tuck. Dan gonna have to get an eyepiece over. Does so with ease. Both players having a dig. Dan sets up a delay burn. Delay burn resolves rather nicely. And just like that, Dan and Anomalous both survive some terrifying digs. Wow. Amazing simultaneous survival. However, Anomalous is going to walk out with a 60,000 point lead going into around the 50 line mark. So Dan is going to have to start scoring some Tetrises here. There's one. 147 to 206. Now Dan keeping it clean. And so is Anomalous. Anomalous having to take a 3-line burn right there. Putting out both players actually running into a drought. And they both would have got the long bar around the same point in the drought. However, and now having to do some more burning. Oh no! That was a really poor piece. Dan now having to do some burning once again. And man, another tough piece. And Dan's going to top it at 176. Anomalous with a 100,000 point lead is good for game 1. Both players are ready. We can get game 2 underway. And they're ready, so let's go ahead and count them down. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. And right now, here we go. Both players knocking down the first Tetris. We aren't going to be seeing a tie. Anomalous likes to push down on a couple of pieces, so unless Dan Vinky decides to, for whatever reason, match the amount of pushdown that Anomalous is outputting, I don't think we will be seeing a tie anytime soon. But you can see plenty of neck-and-neck situations. However, right now, Dan just waiting on the long bar, knocks down a Tetris, and might be in a position to take the lead here in the early opener. Anomalous having to do some burning, and is going to be in need of an eyepiece. Finally gets an eyepiece, able to burn a triple. And Dan trying to go for the adjustment, but saw it a little bit too late. As a result, it's going to cost 2 burn lines, and now it's still J dependent. With that, it looks like we're going to be separated by around just over half a Tetris. Anomalous rocking with row 2. Dan, of course, down at row 1. Clean burns. Dan is good. 130,000 for Dan. 115 for Anomalous. Anomalous actually can't really do too much with this board. Got a little bit of a J-piece dependency in the stack. And it's going to have to burn it out in order to get access to be able to score Tetrises. So Dan is going to be able to make a massive lead here. But Anomalous is going aggressive. And, Anomalous might be in trouble. However, we saw both Dan and Anomalous were able to survive. And Anomalous is probably going to set up for this. No, just going to burn it all the way out. However, as a result, this is going to put Anomalous behind by almost 80,000 points. Fortunately, Dan is going to have to do some burning. And this is Anomalous's opportunity to potentially gain a little bit of that deficit back. Meanwhile, Anomalous now in need of an L piece in order to go for a no burn setup. L piece doesn't come, so forced to take a triple right there. Now is going to be rocking with row 3. Dan still maintaining around a 50,000 point lead. Anomalous decides just to burn it all the way out. And now Anomalous is going for the center wall here on row 2. Knocks down the center wall Tetris. 235 to now 288. A little bit over 2/3 through, but Anomalous has some complications to deal with. Not going to be able to score Tetris until that hole in column 2 is resolved. Or could decide to build on top. But Anomalous is just going to burn this all the way out. And, 2 long bar dependencies. Fills in one of them and gets the long bar to fill in the other. And nice adjustment over there by Dan. There is Tetris for Dan. 359. Scratch that 381 to now 271. Or now 294. Anomalous only 20 lines away from the transition. So at peak efficiency can try and get a 400k transition. Dan, on the other hand, can get a 520. Definitely a 500k transition is within the cards. And, Anomalous hangs the long bar, but gets one over higher. However, has a long bar dependency on column 8, and this is going to prevent Anomalous from scoring a Tetris. Alright, there's a triple. Anomalous can try and go for a Tetris here. There's Tetris for Anomalous. Gonna commit to one more right before transition. Takes the triple. Anomalous transitions at 357. Meanwhile, Dan trying to get prepared for the transition. Anomalous goes to level 20. down by 48,000 points. Dan is going to transition at a pretty strong 465, 70,000 point lead, and behind by 10 lines. So a full level advantage for Dan, which in the later levels could translate to 100,000 point scoring potential differential. Meanwhile, Anomalous having to survive something nasty here. Looking for the right pieces. Nice. Good pieces so far, but needs a J or an I piece. But Dan! Oh no, Dan! Wow, look at that rolling in action! But can Dan survive this? It's not going to be to any avail. Dan's going to top it at 515. Anomalous has to survive this first and foremost. Anomalous is holding out for the long bar. Long bar comes a little bit too late, so now having to skim. But Anomalous is in trouble. Multiple holes are being generated. And with that hang, that's going to do it. Dan's going to clutch it out. Or rather have high enough score to where Anomalous can't chase it down. And we are tied 1-1. Both players are ready, so let's go ahead and count them down. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Here we are, game number 3 between Dan Binky and Anomalous. And both players starting off with a relatively safe opener. Dan Binky definitely has a cleaner board at the moment than Anomalous, and it's going to be just a tad bit more efficient. And Anomalous going for a lot of overhangs. Fortunately, they are resolving well. Not going to take the skim to get Tetris ready. Instead, it's going to hold out for the T piece. And there it is. Tetris for Anomalous. Goes into a small, brief lead. The J piece is not coming. And this is going to force Anomalous to have to do some burning. Could try and go for something like a row 4 Tetris. Really aggressive right there. Now Anomalous is going to burn out. Dan Binky having to do some minor burning, dealing with a 25-piece drought, and long bar dependency got generated in the middle there for a second. And with that T-piece, Dan misses the T-spin. You hate to see it. As now we are in the 40 drought territory. How long is this drought? And finally, Dan able to get the long bar after 48 pieces, unable to utilize it to score. All right, nice double. And there it is. Dan is open. 167 to 223. Meanwhile, Anomalous has built up a 78,000 point lead and is not too far ahead in lines either. So this is going to be a true lead, roughly, for Anomalous. But Dan and Anomalous are both clean as long as all things go according to plan. Both players should be able to maintain the respective Tetris rate of the other. More so, it's just Dan's the one that has to be able to keep up with Anomalous, since Anomalous is playing ahead. There it is, Tetris for Dan. Down by 50,000 points. Meanwhile, Anomalous in the middle of a 24-piece drought. The drought continues to grow. But, ooh, Anomalous couldn't utilize that long bar for a Tetris. In fact, this is starting to get dangerous territory. Anomalous just deciding to take the burn. And at this point, that's what you have to do. There it is, Tetris for Anomalous. The lead has shrunken to only 39,000 points. There's Tetris for Dan. Another Tetris for Dan takes the lead. What a comeback right there over the last few lines. Anomalous is still not in any position to score Tetris either. And Dan was potentially setting himself up, if needed, to adjust for the bits. Instead, decided to take the skim single instead of going for a delayed bits. And as a result, Dan is now in the lead by just around a Tetris. Anomalous is still having to burn through this. Quite the perpetual burn that he's undertaken. The well is open. And Anomalous knocks down a Tetris. 341 to 359. 4-line advantage for Dan, so could be up by around 40,000 points. There's no Tetris for Dan. Set up for another one too. Anomalous finally with the board under control. Looks like we're going to see some high 400s, maybe even a 500k transition from Dan. Dan having to do just a small amount of burning, so the advantage is going to go away as now Anomalous knocks down a Tetris. Dan running into a drought. There it is, Tetris for Dan. And another Tetris for Dan, and Dan looks like he's prepared to get ready to swap to rolling, maintaining a 40,000 point lead over Anomalous. Anomalous has potentially one more Tetris left, and oh, this is not the time to misdrop. Only 4 lines left to transition. Anomalous has to get this in the scoring position somehow. Anomalous is going to transition at 464. Opens up the hole. Needs to get an eyepiece or some way to burn down. Gets the eyepiece. Burns down for a triple. And Anomalous is safe. Dan Beaky's going to transition at 525,000. And it looks like he is rolling. Another Tetris for Dan. And all the right pieces. Anomalous needs to get in the scoring position as soon as possible. Dan makes a small adjustment, able to build up now a 96,000 point lead. Anomalous now, with that single, is ready to start scoring for Tetrises. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Both players are clean. There it is, Tetris for Dan. Binky goes up to 602. Anomalous waiting on the long bar, taking the necessary skims, and knocks down a Tetris. 510. Still down by 90,000 points. And Dan actually going the more conservative route of getting Tetris ready. In fact, it's just going to take a triple right there. Skim, or take a split double. And with that, both players are clean. Anomalous holding up with the long bar. Oh, this could get dangerous. A massive square spire, and the pieces just aren't coming. Anomalous now having to burn. Gets the piece all the way over to the left. Needs a piece to open up the well. Well is open. There it is. Tetris for Anomalous. Dan Tetris ready, holding out for the long bar. Waiting on the long bar. Long bar's not coming, so he decides to burn down. Long bar comes when the well is covered. And there it is. Tetris for open Anomalous, and Dan Binky lead doesn't change. 653 for Dan, 577 for Anomalous. Perfect pieces for both players. Now they're just waiting on the long bar. Tetris for Dan and Tetris for Anomalous. 607 to 683. We are in max out territory for Dan. Meanwhile, Anomalous, not quite. However, another Tetris for for both Dan and Anomalous. However, Dan made a small misdrop, so it's going to bring the stack down. Anomalous could take advantage of this and be able to close the gap little by little. However, the pieces aren't necessarily falling in Anomalous' favor and forced to do all this burning. Nice taps over there. And there it is. Tetris for Anomalous. 674. Dan has gotten the board under control. Ready to start scoring again. Another Tetris for Anomalous. 705. Now only down by 21,000 points. Meanwhile, another Tetris for Dan, bringing the lead back to 52,000. Another Tetris for Dan. Tetris for Anomalous. However, Anomalous has a couple of complications that need to be dealt with. And he needs all the right pieces to deal with said complications. 791 for Dan. Going to be Tetris ready, waiting on the long bar. Anomalous needs to find some way to get in a scoring position sooner than later. Waiting on the right pieces, and just a really rough Z piece. And Anomalous slides the T piece underneath. Waiting on the right piece to go for something. Gets the tuck. And Anomalous should be clean. Perfect piece to tuck underneath. Anomalous now gets the perfect L piece. However, he's down by 100,000 points. And Dan, with a couple of misdrops, is going to be forced to resolve this. And oh, several misdrops in a row for Dan. Dan has to survive this. Dan needs to get a piece over to the left. Anomalous would only need 2 Tetrises if Dan tops out right now. 1 Tetris is all that Anomalous would need, but Dan is still alive. Look at this survival by Dan. Anomalous goes to level 29, 10,000 points behind. He's got to get this Tetris. Oh, doesn't. Able to get it. Anomalous is going to top it at 897. But Dan with some insane survival up top. Had he topped out any moment, Anomalous would have been able to take the game. What a close game. Only separated by 21,000 points. But game 3 does go to Dan Vinky. Both players are ready, so let's go ahead and count them down to game number 4. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Ooh. Oh, here we are, game number 4. Dan Vinky is 1 game away from giving the Aux Chords a 3-1 advantage, forcing Tetris Time into a wager situation, and Tetris Time having to win 3 games while Ramation only needs 2. However, Dan Vinky has to win this game, but speaking of win this game, Anomalous starting to get up a little bit high. Oh my gosh, is he going to set up? No, he does not make the adjustment to go for it. Just decides to take the safety route, and I mean, you can't blame him. However, Dan is going to be able to take a Tetris here. Tetris for Dan right now, 145 to 117. And Anomalous is clean. Both players have the board under control. However, Dan definitely has a cleaner board than Anomalous. In fact, Anomalous is actually looking for a long bar. Now Anomalous is looking for a long bar. Will is open, burns the single, and needs a 3rd one in order to score the Tetris. Has to do a little bit of burning. A 3rd is Tetris for Anomalous, but Dan already off to a quite a lead. 67,000 point advantage. Dan at 237. Anomalous at 169. No Tetris for Dan. $282 for Dan right now. 305 for Anomalous. And nice flat burn for Anomalous. In fact, great combination of burns for Anomalous. Incredible efficiency on that. And another Tetris. However, Dan definitely flexing 126,000 point lead. Anomalous is going to have to start doing something now to just at least maintain the point differential and have to do something on post-transition. Another Tetris for Dan, just really putting the pressure on Anomalous. In fact, Dan is actually still behind in line, so Dan could be up by 140,000 points. And, ooh, not... Was that intentional? If that was intentional by Anomalous, that was a very clever placement. Fortunately, the pieces that come after have not been necessarily cooperative. And Anomalous now having to do more burning, and that's just disastrous. Dan's going to be able to build up a lead. Nice flat burn over here for Dan. Anomalous running into a 20-piece drought. Forced to take that double. Tetris for Anomalous, but Tetris for Dan as well. Now up 160,000 points. Anomalous isn't necessarily having a bad game. It's just Dan is having a stellar one. 514 to 349. This is 650k transition pace for Dan. And another simul Tetris for both players. Anomalous is just going to have to play the best that he can in hopes that Dan runs into some early complications in post-transition to try and make up the deficit. And Anomalous is being efficient. I will give him that. Seeing fewer burns and just a lot of rapid Tetrises. However, Anomalous is only 4 lines away from the transition. And Anomalous is going to transition at 467. Very respectable game to turn the pace into. However, Dan looking at a 600k transition. I mean, practically there. However, running into a drought. And, ooh. Drought is not looking too kind for Dan. Able to knock down a Tetris, but not at the cost of a long bar dependency on left-hand side. Oh, man. Dan's going to take the triple. Followed up with the single. Dan's transitions at 617. Not necessarily clean, so it is going to have to burn down. In fact, has to get a long bar all the way over to the left. Does so. And now just trying to get into scoring position. This is Anomalous's opportunity to take advantage. And, oh, Dan! Dan is going to top it at 621! Anomalous needs 622. Anomalous is clean. And at this point could just line out. Set up. Almost set up for the Tetris. And there it is. Tetris for Anomalous. And that's going to do it. We are going to a decider. That's not the right color heart. Get out of here. There we go. Just intentionally don't score 600k transitions. Yep. Alright, both players are ready. Go ahead and count them down to the decider. Yeah, Irie's trying to get that $5 off merch purchase. Here we go. And 3, 2, 1, Tetris. So here it is, the decider from Dan, Vinky, and Anomalous. And neither player able to score Tetris within the first few lines. And wow, this is actually some rough pieces for both players. Dan's just going to try and burn this all the way out. Neither player has scored a Tetris yet. Anomalous is open, and Anomalous scores the first Tetris of the game. And wow, look at that. 3 long bars in a row for Dan Vinky. He's going to go aggressive and place the long bar at the end. Nice burn, but ooh, this is reaching some shaky territory. Dan Vinky has yet to score a Tetris. Running into a drought. Finally, Tetris for Dan Vinky. Gets on the board. A Tetris and is set up for another. There's another Tetris for Dan Vinky. Going to be trailing by 18,000 points. Or now 20,000. Nice adjustment. Nice adjustment. Over there by Dan. But 110 to 110. And a lot of overhangs being developed here on Anomalous' side. Well, Dan holding out through a drought. Finally gets the long bar. Tetris for Dan. With Tetris for Anomalous 166 to 140. And Dan just going to go and burn out the double. Didn't want to try and set up for a column 9. Interesting. Dan now in need of a J piece. Gets the J piece. Anomalous having to do just a small amount of burning. But Dan... ooh. This could actually be a little bit troublesome for Dan. But Dan opens up the well, knocks in a Tetris, and is set up for another one. And we could actually be in a neck-and-neck position if Dan is able to convert on another Tetris. And there it is. Separated by 1,000 points. Anomalous knocks down a Tetris to increase the separation once again. And, man, just really poor timing on that long bar for Dan. Nice adjustment, though, and Tetris for Dan. I'm going to take that double. Didn't necessarily like the condition of the stack in. Dan's been playing some really solid Tetris, a little bit more on the conservative side. However, it works out in terms of keeping up with Anomalous, while in the contrast, Anomalous has played some very dynamic Tetris. We've been seeing a lot of overhangs, a lot of aggressive high stacks, and so far it's been able to work out for him here in the decider, maintaining just a small nominal lead. But the pace lead would be in Dan's favor. Dan now looking for an L piece. L piece is not coming, is now going to have to settle on a long bar. Oh, man. Oh, man. Actually, hold on. Anomalous is in trouble. Holding out everything for this long bar. He needs the long bar right now, and it's not going to come. Anomalous is going to top out at 318. And with that Tetris, Dan clutches out the decider. The aux chords now go up 3-1, forcing Tetris time in a wager position. So do stay tuned because it's not over yet. We could see a sudden death situation should Tetris time able to defeat Ramations.